Hello neighbors, and welcome back to the Noya Mountain Music Teaching Channel. My name is Christopher Henry, and we're going to be getting back into some arpeggiating, but we're going to be doing it with the staggered Monroe texture. Okay, selection for today is This Land Is Your Land, and this is primo internal repertoire bill. Okay, this is where you're teaching yourself to teach yourself. So most of us, a lot of us, are going to know the tune This Land Is Your Land. We're not going to really teach it here, but we're going to teach how to arpeggiate with the stagger technique. All right, so small disclaimer here. This has Monroe style in the title, and we are going to be using one of the main Monroe style devices, staggered arpeggios. There are many more devices that you can use. This is just an intermediate level video introducing the Monroe style of using staggered arpeggios to play the melody. So just keep that in mind as you're going along. So at the end of the video, we want to aim to help you to be able to play This Land Is Your Land like this. Okay, so first of all, we got to have the super simple melody, which sounds like this. Okay, so as you can see, it's just like three notes for most of the melody. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be arpeggiating those main melody notes. Okay, so we're not going to be doing the quick arpeggio, which sounds a little bit more classical and it's more notey and it's harder to do. So we're going to do the Monroe staggered arpeggio, which, if you don't know how to do that, I recommend you look at this video, or this video here, somewhere up here is going to be that video on staggered arpeggios. Okay, so we're just going to assume that you've already watched that video and you kind of already know what to do, but the general premise for this is that you're starting your arpeggio with a downstroke and you're moving to each new note with an upstroke then a downstroke. All right, so you have to know what your C arpeggio is. So playing out of the chord, it's going to be like this: down, up, 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 down. So we're going to be playing what I would call a full bar. It's going to be 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and we're going to leave that last and to be a long eighth note. That'll give us time to get to our G arpeggio. Okay, so we are arpeggiating the main melody note. This land is your land. This land is. We're doing the staggered arpeggio now. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, to the Redwood Forest, to the Gulf Stream waters, so on and so forth. Okay, so what's happening with this C arpeggio is we're coming from the top of the 3-finger chord, C chord, to the bottom and then back up. And then we're going to have 2 more notes, an up and a down on the 5th fret of the D. So that's going to be our C staggered arpeggio. So it's 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and. Okay, so we do want to have our pickup notes to the melody note, which is the 3rd fret of the A, which is what we're arpeggiating at the beginning of this whole thing. So we want to have this land is your land, this land is. Okay, so you'll notice that it's not following the melody directly at the end. We're staying within our 3-finger kind of chord box there and doing the stagger thing. Our next melody note is the 2nd fret of the A. All right, so we got this land is your land, this land is my land. So now we're arpeggiating with the staggered technique, the my land. Okay, so start on the 2nd fret of the A, coming down through your G arpeggio, lower in tone. All right, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and. Again, we're in on the and of 4. That's a long 8th note that'll give us time to go to our next melody note to arpeggiate. All right. So if you don't know your major G arpeggios, definitely want to get those programmed into your muscle memory. All right, second fret of the A, fifth fret of the D, open D, fourth fret of the G, open G. Back up that same way, fourth fret of the G, open D, fifth fret of the D. All right. So let's take it from the top. But before we do, please like and subscribe. Go ahead and hit that little bell there from the notifications, and you'll get all the good stuff from Noya Mountain Music. Thank you. And please consider becoming a patron on patreon.com/Noya Mountain Music. 1, 2, go. And 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and. Our next melody note is going to be the open A. So we got this line is your land. We arpeggiated that one. We arpeggiated this one. This one is my land. From California is the open A melody note. So we're going to be in the chord of D now, and we're going to arpeggiate in D all the way down. So if you don't know your D arpeggio real good, would encourage you to work on that. So the melody note is open A. We're using the stagger technique to go down, fourth fret of the D, open D, second fret of the G. Right back up, same way you came, open D, fourth fret of the D, open A, and we're going to end up on the fifth fret of the A. So the whole thing's going to be like this. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and. All right, so taking it from the top, this is what we got. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York. And we come back to our second fret of the A for our next melody note. Island to the Gulf Stream, or to the Redwood Forest. So that is the same as our second arpeggiation, starting on the second fret of the A. So now we're back into the chord of C to do this one again. To the Redwood Forest, to the Gulf Stream. Same thing on our second fret of the A. Waters. And we're just going to play the ending lick, pure melody. This land was made for you and me, to make it easy. All right, so that is our whole premise. All right, that's basically the whole lesson. Going over it from the top. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and. This land was made for you and me. Something like that. Okay, so now let's see if we can add the last 16th note of our arpeggiations to make it a little bit more fluid. Okay, so instead of just going, we're going to add that last upstroke in there, and we can do various fun things that can depend on your creative druthers. But let's see what we can find in the chord of C. So instead of having that last downstroke be on the fifth fret of the D, now you can add your upstroke on the third fret of the A to make it a little cooler. Now here, again, you can add 1/16th note, and I would recommend adding the upstroke on the open A before going to your melody note on the open A. So your G arpeggio now becomes. All right, starting there. Leading that tone back to the second fret of the A through the third fret of the A. So our D arpeggio. 5, 5, 3, 2, and that gets us back to our G arpeggio. And instead of ending on the downstroke there, you can add your second fret of the A, upstroke coming into your C note for your C arpeggio. Again, same thing there. Now let's see what kind of difference that makes when we kind of speed it up. 1, 2, 3. went back into the melody a little bit earlier than we had before, just to kind of give you an idea of other melodic things that you can do besides playing the stagger thing the whole way. All right, so that's the main lesson. The other part of this lesson is that I want you to be thinking about becoming comfortable playing your 2-octave C arpeggio up the neck like this. And your D arpeggio too. And if you want to get really fancy and flossy, you can get your infinity in there. Fancy arpeggiation action up there, but the big overarching thing that I want to communicate is this is the stuff that you can be teaching yourself to learn with your internal repertoire. So whether it's You Are My Sunshine or When the Saints Go Marching In, you can do this stuff with all your good gospel songs. Will the Circle Be Unbroken, I'll Fly Away, I Saw the Light, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. And guess what? You can definitely take this up to A, okay? Same kind of idea, following your ear to get the arpeggios based off of the melody note, okay? So that's some hacking that you can do in your Pillar 2 practice, staying disciplined, grunt work, internal repertoire, external repertoire. You can check out the video called Revolutionize Your Practice and get some tips on that if you'd like to. So hope you enjoyed this little video on This Land Is Your Land. And if you'd like to like the video and give us a subscribe, that'd be great. It helps the channel, helps the algorithm, all that kind of stuff. And if you'd like to really support the channel, you can consider becoming a Patreon member at patreon.com/Noya Mountain Music. Big thanks to all the supporters on there that have made all this work and continuing into the future possible. So thank you very much. And we still haven't gotten to those infinity bounces yet, but we'll get to them eventually. You know, what would that sound like if you were going to do it on This Land Is Your Land? So we'll sign off for now. Thank you, neighbors. See you on the next one.